Easter weekend, 1993, Emma McKinley lost her balance and fell from a storage loft at work. Her foot was lodged between boxes and her body hung upside down until a coworker found her and called 911.
My head hit something very hard, and I did not come to until the next day.
As Emma healed from the wounds she received in the fall, she developed widespread reflex sympathetic dystrophy, known as RSD, a chronic and progressive nerve disorder that left her entire body in severe pain.
I partnered up with God because this accident was bigger than I could handle. And I knew that I needed to know Jesus more in my life now than ever before.
Eventually, Emma was bound to a wheelchair. Kathy Rutterberg has been her caregiver for the last 18 years.
She could not walk at all. She was in her wheelchair 24/7 with the exception of toileting, and she's been like that for many, many years.
Eventually that pain got so bad in that foot and in the left hand that the foot started to grow crooked.
Emma's left hand closed into a fist she was unable to open. Her neck and spine twisted to the left, leaving her body in an awkward and painful position. Her son Jason saw how hard life had become for his mother.
It was difficult to see her just doing daily things. You can see the pain in her face, and it's hard to see somebody go through that, much less a family member.
Through the years, Emma maintained a positive attitude despite her painful situation.
No matter how rough her life was physically, she's always had just a bright smile on her face and always been so warm and so encouraging. And the other thing that I've never seen waver is her faith.
I kept pressing forward each and every day, knowing that Jesus was going to give me that strength, that he was going to be there for me. And he never let me down. He was there for me.
Blood clots formed in her legs, which posed life-threatening issues. Doctors wanted to amputate both of her legs, but Emma refused.
I never gave up. I kept praying and thanking God for my healing, because I had that much faith in my Jesus to know that someday he was going to give me that healing.
The night before Christmas Eve 2011, Emma fell out of her wheelchair. For 8 hours, she lay on the floor in excruciating pain, crying out to Jesus for help. Emma says that Jesus came into her room and reached out to touch her.
And what I saw was the most awesome white robe. I knew who that was. Our human eyes, we can't even hardly look at it. It's so bright white. I couldn't see it, but I could feel that left foot going from this position to this position. Jesus was straightening out that crooked foot. I knew my neck was being straightened, my spine was being straightened. That left hand that had been clenched fist for over 18 years. Jesus started to take those fingers and open them up. And I could take that hand and I could flex it and use my fingers. Jesus was now kneeling on one knee right beside me. And he extended his hand out to me, asking for mine. And then we stood up together. And even though the bones were sounding and cracking like crazy, he still had a hold of my hands. Then I knew I had to start walking and use his feet and legs. And I did.
Just a few hours later, Emma's 2 sons and her grandchildren came over to celebrate Christmas Eve, unaware of the miracle their mother just experienced.
And I could see down the hallway a little bit, and here she comes walking. And it's like, no way. I hadn't seen Mom out of a wheelchair, I think, since my wedding in 1993. At that moment, everything I knew was different because, you know, she's supposed to be in the chair, but she's walking. And it was just a surreal moment seeing her walk. It's like, it's a miracle. There's nothing else it could be.
We kind of got through hugging my two sons. I went over and grabbed those two grandsons, and I gave them a big hug for the first time in all those years.
That night, Emma and her family were in awe of God's love and power as they celebrated her Christmas miracle. Emma says that being able to stand and walk on her own has changed her life forever. Although she still has RSD symptoms, she and her family believe that God is in control. Today, with her son Jason, Emma joyfully shares her story of how Jesus heard her prayers and forever changed her life on Christmas Eve.
You know, this is such a story of hope. This miracle is not just for my mom, not just for our family, but it's for everybody. Whatever difficulties people may be facing, there's always hope.
Jesus has never let me down. He's always been there for me. In His Word, He says that He will never leave us or forsake us. And I knew that, and I trust His Word. I'm no longer the crooked lady with the broken body in the wheelchair. I'm known as the lady with the Christmas miracle.